FIFA is never far from controversy, the organisation copping its fair share of criticism over the years. But never before has the location of a Football World Cup caused as much angst and outcry as Qatar 2022. Ever since the Middle Eastern nation won the rights back in 2010, beating perfectly good alternative hosts like Australia, Japan and South Korea, FIFA has bore the brunt of criticism surrounding Qatar's appalling human rights record, particularly with regard to migrant workers, who make up 95% of the country's total working population and have been integral to setting up the nation to host the tournament. The general public have been vocal in their disdain ahead of the World Cup, with high-profile footballers and national teams lending their voices too, in a bid to not only highlight and condemn the atrocities in Qatar, but to show the world that the glitz and glamour of sport is not an acceptable veil for human rights breaches. While more action is needed, the conversation must endure. We can't stop talking about Qatar 2022. Early in 2021, it was revealed more than 6,500 migrant workers from places like India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka had died in Qatar since 2010. That's not including workers from countries like Kenya and the Philippines, which also send large numbers of workers to Qatar. In reality, that figure is much higher, and football as a whole isn't happy. Norway has been incredibly vocal on the issue. Even though they failed to get through qualifying for Qatar, they had threatened to boycott the tournament, with FIFA telling them they could be banned from the 2026 World Cup if they went ahead with it. Alas, a Congress meeting quashed Norway's plans, with delegates voting comprehensively against the boycott, 368 votes to 121. Denmark, which will be at the World Cup, has announced it will not take part in any commercial activities at the tournament, with the team only attending sporting events or initiatives where they can help improve the conditions of migrant workers. Members of the team will display messages of support on their apparel throughout the tournament. Similar gestures were seen throughout World Cup qualifying too, with both Germany and the Netherlands wearing t-shirts in support of human rights. Yet, despite the outcry, FIFA remains steadfast in its support of Qatar, insisting that the decision to choose Qatar has brought great improvement to the human rights situation in the country. Further investigation, though, has found labour reforms in Qatar supposedly making it easier to change jobs in search of better conditions and pay have done little to make the lives of migrant workers easier, with many receiving threats from employers, experiencing harassment and exploitation, and some even ending up in prison and eventually deported. Many withdraw their transfer requests over such fears. Sportswashing in football is not a new thing, with Qatar Sports Investment's purchase of Paris Saint-Germain in 2011 making PSG a global powerhouse, while the Saudi investment fund's purchase of Newcastle United in 2021 reignited global chatter around the issue. It's even finding its way into golf, with Greg Norman's Saudi-backed Golf Super League stirring controversy. It's obviously far too late for FIFA to change the host of the World Cup. Only a mass boycott from nations or fans alike would incite significant change. And while there have been murmurs, no one has been willing to commit to that course of action. Former Manchester United champion Eric Cantona is one high-profile figure who has recently stated he has no interest in watching the Qatar 2022 World Cup. To be honest, I don't really care about the next World Cup, which is not a real World Cup for me, he said. It's only about money and the way they treated the people who built the stadiums. It's horrible. Thousands of people have died, and yet we will celebrate this World Cup. Personally, I will not watch it. But it will take more than just one. For big change to occur, significant sacrifices will have to be made. Anything less, and FIFA will just continue to FIFA. Thanks for watching. For more great content on all things football, make sure you hit the subscribe button.